Hey guys, welcome to the Cape Critic. I'm Josh.
And I'm Shannon.
And first, I wanted to say welcome and thank you to all of our new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate that so much. Today, we are doing our first video in our Lookback series.
Yep.
And today, we're going to be looking back at Captain America, the First Avenger.
Oh.
So, starting off a little bit, this movie came out in 2011, was directed by Joe Johnston, who did some older movies like Pagemaster, which is a really cool animated film.
I love that movie.
Did Jurassic Park 3, did some other stuff.
Rocketeer,
old Disney movie that was actually really good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So he's worked with Disney before.
Yeah.
So it's starring Chris Evans, the Human Torch himself,
yes.
which we don't talk about because Fantastic Four.
We don't talk about.
Starring Hugo Weaving, who's probably one of the best cinematic villains of all time.
He makes such a good I think it's his eyes.
Yeah.
It's his eyebrows. He's just got that
crazy.
villain. Yeah.
But Agent Smith, of course, he plays the Red Skull in here, but he's also played Lord Elrond in the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies, which is awesome. And of course, you have Sam Jackson playing Nick Fury in this movie, who is working to start building his Avengers team.
Right.
So we're doing this because Captain America Civil War is coming out soon. Coming out in May. And so
May 5th?
May 6th.
May 6th.
Comes out May 6th. So we're doing this one. We're going to be doing another look back video for Captain America the Winter Soldier. But for today we're going to be looking at the First Avenger.
Right.
So this is the fifth movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It followed Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, and then this movie came out.
Right.
So this was kind of it was an origin story for the character of Steve Rogers, a.k.a. Captain America. Like I said, played by Chris Evans, who thought did an amazing job.
He's a phenomenal actor. So I thought he did a great job.
We'll get into some of the performances in a minute. So this was a period piece, mostly set in World War II, when Hitler is working his way through Europe, and his science division, Advanced Research Science Division, Hydra, is coming up underneath him under the tutelage, under the guidance of Hugo Weaving's character, the Red Skull, who's a major villain in the Captain America comics. And so it's all about him starting out as a kid from Brooklyn, the small, scrawny kid who,
beat up.
Fun fact, when they were doing this movie, they wanted to use a body double for the first part of the movie, and then CGI Chris Evans' face onto the body double for the beginning. But Chris Evans was so opposed to it that they actually instead took his body and used CGI to shrink his body down, because he was so adamant that body language was so much to this character that he didn't want somebody else using the body acting for the beginning of the movie.
Wow.
And then, of course, after he gets his super soldier serum, and we get the
it's
full-bodied Chris Evans. So that's a cool fun fact about that.
That's really cool.
But
that's a dedicated actor.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And so that's kind of where we were at the movie. We got introduced into Agent Peggy Carter.
Yes.
Who went on to have a couple TV series of her own, which was really cool.
Awesome. If you don't watch it, watch it.
She also had a little, not really cameo, but like a small piece in Ant-Man. When Hank Pym, at the beginning, she's on the board for S.H.I.E.L.D. But so let's get into the characters and the actors. We kind of talk about Chris Evans. He already did a Marvel movie. He did two of the Fantastic Four movies as the Human Torch, who arguably may have been one of the better parts of those movies.
Yeah.
Because those movies historically have not been good.
No.
They just weren't that good. And so they took him from that, recast him as Steve Rogers, Captain America,
Much
and
better.
Now people almost don't even remember that he was the Human Torch before, which is crazy.
He's
he did such a good
buff
job.
In these movies.
Just a little. So that was really cool to see him doing that. I was really excited to see Chris Evans for the movie. Like I said, the villain, Hugo Weaving, who
great villain.
I've talked about. The Matrix is probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
You got Agent Smith coming back and doing another villain.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Hugo Weaving and Marvel/Disney didn't really get along, so we probably won't ever see the Red Skull, at least Hugo Weaving's Red Skull in the universe ever again.
That really sucks.
It does suck because they even left it open because at the end of the movie when they're fighting, he's being dissolved. It actually looks like he's being teleported by the Tesseract. If you really pay attention,
okay,
he doesn't explode. He doesn't.
I figured he just dissolved
but
somehow.
If you actually look, he's being like sucked up into this big galactic portal that's opened up.
I mean, I saw the Port of the Galactic,
right?
Okay.
And so we think that in my mind,
maybe he's
they
there.
were leaving it open, right? So
he could be
just
there, he
in
could
case,
not be there.
right?
We don't
could bring
really
him
know.
back.
Be like, oh, just kidding. He was really dead, or no, he's just okay.
Right. So Hugo. So they said we got Peggy Carter. It was a smaller role. We met Bucky, who goes on to play a pivotal role in The Winter Soldier, which we'll talk about.
I like him better with dark hair.
And
with long hair.
And then an even more pivotal role in Civil War, because we're pretty sure Civil War is basically going to be based around Rogers and Bucky's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be really interesting. But yes, he looks better with long hair.
I like him with long hair. He gets a little more buff in the next movie.
Yes,
but
yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
In our next video, so come back.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Bucky. We got some other. We got to meet the Howling Commandos who we put together.
They're so fun.
Yes,
I love them.
And so those were some of the characters. Those were all great characters. I will say honestly about this movie. This movie was a lot funnier than I remembered. Yeah,
I did laugh a little more than because honestly, I remember thinking it was good. All right, it was a good movie. But watching it again, I'm like, I really liked it. I liked it more than I remember liking it the first time.
Right? It's almost like going back. I don't know if maybe you catch some of the Easter eggs a little now that we know more of some story points.
Yeah.
Or just kind of knowing where he ends up.
What I caught some of the things that were this time was the very first fight scene we see him in when he's still little and scrawny. He picks up the trash can lid and uses it as a shield. I didn't catch that one the first time. I caught the car door with the star on it the very first time. I caught that one, but I didn't catch the trash can.
Right, and if you notice too, after getting beat up, he stands up, he's swaying, so I can do this all day, which of course we got in the trailer for Civil War, bringing it all the way back for the faithful fans who were paying attention.
Yes.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, I definitely picked up on a lot more watching it this time around.
Definitely. So that was really, I really enjoyed. Even though it's a period piece, set in World War II, I thought it was very interesting.
I like period pieces. I like things with kind of a history in them. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, so that was really, really cool. Getting into, I thought the plot wasn't too terribly confusing. It was an origin story, so they were going to go nuts with it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool how they opened up with finding him in the ice, and then we end with him saying he had a date, which just heart-wrenching. You hate it for him.
You really, how can you not? It just hurts.
And so it was just the whole movie I thought was fantastic.
Yep.
Beginning to end.
Like I said, much better than I thought it was the first time. Watching the second time around, you really catch up on those little things.
Well, I caught a little bit of flack when it first came out, because you had.
I was one of those. I wasn't. Yeah. I guess I probably had higher expectations. I don't know what more I expected. Sure. I don't know, but I guess my expectations must have not been met the first time around. But now watching it again, I'm like, I don't know what more I would have expected or wanted, really.
So you're coming off 2 Iron Man movies and a Thor movie. They're super high tech and they're magical and they're
maybe because it was a period piece,
right?
There's not the technology,
right?
It's just it's just actions, just fighting,
right?
That was probably part of it.
But yeah, and then you see him and Nick Fury recruiting him to the team. Something that's really cool that they kind of set up. This movie kind of really started setting up was the Tesseract.
Yes.
Which you have to imagine, surely at that time they knew it was going to be an Infinity Stone, but of course we had no idea.
Right.
So that was something that was like really cool, that you knew all the big wigs at Marvel sitting down. They have this giant map out on the wall with all these movies written out, and they're all sitting there like, haha, it's going to be an Infinity Stone. No one knows about it but us.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, going back, having no idea what it was going to become an Infinity Stone later on. I thought was really, really cool.
Definitely.
So the other big thing that we kind of touched on already a little bit, but I want to kind of focus on because it plays such a big part, is
Bucky Barnes.
Right. So Bucky is Steve Rogers' childhood friend.
Best friend.
Best friend. Who, in this movie, gets, killed, we think, as he falls off a train down to this giant ravine into this ice river.
Yeah. How do you not die from that? He's dead. He's gone.
Except that nobody dies in the comic books.
Of course not.
So it was really that scene of Captain Rogers sitting in the smashed up bar talking about how the super serum won't even let him get drunk anymore. He's just he's so defeated.
It's an emotional scene.
And then he can't even get drunk to try and to pass it.
Right.
Which I found was just a really, really interesting scene because
that's how a lot of people deal with grief is drinking and alcohol. That's obviously how he wanted to deal with it.
Yeah.
He's got to find another way to do it, and that hurts.
Yeah, that was a really powerful scene. But like I said, nobody really dies in the Marvel Universe, and so we come to find out later in future movies that he's not dead, which is a very interesting.
But he's not the same.
Right.
He's not dead, but he's not totally Bucky anymore.
Right. So this leads directly into Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is, like I said, was directed by the Russo brothers, who are doing Civil War and are doing Infinity Wars Part 1 and Part 2 right now.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be our next look back video. We're going to do Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which we get kind of a little. We got Black Widow a little bit in Iron Man 2, but we get a lot more Black Widow in that movie. We get Falcon in that movie.
Yes.
So these are all things that we'll talk about in that movie. I'm really excited to get to that one. As always, you guys can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TheCapedCriticReviews. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheCapedCritic.
And you can follow me on Twitter at TheCapedSidekick.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next Look Back video.
Bye.